Thank you for choosing wisdom of the Dharma. If you found this video insightful, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you never miss a new update. Your support helps us keep sharing powerful, life-changing wisdom with the world. And don't forget to drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's grow and learn together. Why some gifts quietly destroy your fortune. It all started with a couch. Nothing extravagant, just a simple, second-hand leather sofa that a close friend offered to a young family moving into their new home. It was a kind gesture. They accepted it with gratitude, unaware that this ordinary piece of furniture had once belonged to a household that went through bitter divorce, financial collapse, and years of sleepless nights. Within weeks, the family who accepted it began to notice changes. The children started falling ill more often. The couple, once harmonious, found themselves arguing about the smallest things. Business slowed down. Doors that had once opened effortlessly now seemed sealed shut. No one could explain why. But from the outside, the home that was once full of hope now seemed weighed down by something invisible, something heavy. In Buddhism, we are taught that all things, seen and unseen, carry energy. Objects are not merely passive matter, they absorb the intentions, emotions, and karmic imprints of those who use them. And when these objects change hands, so too does that residual energy. What is gifted may not always be a blessing. Feng Shui calls this sha qi, killing energy. It's not evil in a supernatural sense, but rather an energetic disruption. A misalignment. When you introduce something into your home that carries unresolved sorrow, trauma, or decay, you are inviting more than just a physical item. You are inviting its past story, its weight, its unresolved karma. Modern psychology and neuroscience are beginning to echo these ancient truths. Studies show that our brains respond to spaces and objects through subconscious memory. A chair associated with sadness can trigger unease. A bed once used in despair may affect sleep. This is not magic, it's energy perception encoded into human survival instinct. You don't need to believe in energy to be affected by it. You only need to live with it long enough. This video is not about fear. It's about awareness. On this journey, we'll reveal 5 specific categories of items you should never accept from others, even if they're free, beautiful, or given with good intention. These are objects that carry invisible residue, karmic threads, psychic weight, energetic confusion, that can quietly unravel peace, prosperity, and health within your home. We'll look not only at ancient wisdom, but also real-life stories and scientific insights that help us understand how to live more consciously, with the objects we keep, and the energy they bring. Because true wealth isn't just what you earn, it's what you allow into your life. And sometimes, the most important form of self-protection is knowing when to say no. Part 1, Cursed Comfort, the hidden weight of furniture from failure. There's a reason spiritually attuned individuals avoid furnishing their homes with items from bankrupt estates. It's not just about preference, it's about energy. Let me tell you about Ethan and Rachel, a couple in their mid-30s who had just purchased their first home. To save money, they attended an estate sale and picked up several high-quality pieces at bargain prices: a cherry wood dining table, a leather sofa, and an antique cabinet. At first, it felt like a win. But within months, everything changed. Arguments over money escalated. Ethan's freelance business stalled. Their once joyful daughter grew withdrawn. The warmth in their home slowly dissolved. On the surface, nothing explained it. But energetically, something had shifted. In Buddhism, objects aren't inert. They hold vibration. A bed isn't just furniture, it absorbs sleepless nights and anxious thoughts. A sofa might carry the echoes of despair, worry, or failure. And when these come from homes marked by trauma, bankruptcy, or illness, they bring karmic residue with them. Karma is not just what we do, it's also what surrounds us. Pain and failure leave energetic traces. Feng Shui teaches this through the concept of sha qi, stagnant or decaying energy that lingers in objects, anchoring the past to the present. Even items from thrift stores or online marketplaces can carry invisible burdens. While some people energetically cleanse these objects, most only clean the surface. But energy doesn't live on the surface, it lives in the layers. In Ethan and Rachel's case, they eventually consulted a Feng Shui practitioner. They were advised to remove the second-hand furniture and perform a full energetic cleansing of the home. Skeptical but desperate, they followed the advice. Gradually, the tension lifted. Finances improved. Their daughter smiled again. Their story isn't unique. A real estate broker once shared that she always removed furniture from homes where previous owners had gone through loss or illness. The energy feels heavy, she said. Even buyers without spiritual beliefs seem to sense it. Environmental psychology supports this idea. Objects and spaces carry what researchers call emotional memory, a subtle resonance that influences behavior and mood. So what can you do if you've already brought such items into your home? Start with awareness. Ask yourself, since this object arrived, has anything changed in your life, your sleep, mood, finances? If yes, don't panic. But do consider whether the energy around that object feels right. If it still feels off, here's how to cleanse it. Smoke cleansing. Use sandalwood incense or dried pomelo peel. Let the smoke drift over the object slowly. Saltwater wipe. Clean it with a cloth dipped in salt water or ginger-infused water. Salt draws out heavy energy. Ginger reactivates yang flow. Sunlight. Place the item in morning sun. Sunlight carries natural, purifying energy. Energetic anchors. Add a clear quartz crystal or brass gourd near the item to absorb lingering vibrations. Finally, trust your intuition. Sit near the item. Breathe. Does your body soften or tighten? If the unease remains, let it go. The financial value isn't worth the spiritual weight. In Buddhism, non-attachment includes letting go of what was never truly ours to begin with. Refusing to hold what harms us is an act of compassion toward ourselves and those we love. Comfort isn't about softness or design, it's about energetic alignment. And sometimes, the most dangerous items are the ones that sit quietly in our living rooms, altering our fate without a sound. Part 2. Water that doesn't flow. When aquariums block wealth. In Feng Shui, water symbolizes wealth. It represents movement, nourishment, and the natural flow of abundance. But when water becomes stagnant, physically or energetically, it stops attracting fortune. Instead, it begins to erode it. Take Thomas, an interior designer in San Diego. He inherited a beautiful fish tank, glass panels, carved wooden base, a real showpiece. He placed it in his studio, thinking it would enhance the space. At first, everything seemed fine. Then, things shifted. Clients canceled. Payments were delayed. His creativity dwindled. He began waking in the night with anxiety. Strangely, the tank was clean. The water was clear. The fish swam peacefully. Yet something in the room felt heavy. Later, Thomas learned the tank had come from a foreclosed home. Its previous owner had lived alone, depressed, surrounded by financial stress. That tank had once held dead fish and sat neglected for years. Though beautiful on the outside, it carried the silent memory of despair. In Buddhism, water is sacred. It represents both clarity and illusion. It nourishes, but also holds memory. Just like a clear stream reflects light, a murky one reflects karma. Masaru Emoto's water experiments, though debated, echo this. When water is exposed to love or gratitude, it forms symmetrical crystals. Under anger or grief, those crystals distort. While not all scientists agree with his findings, the spiritual symbolism is undeniable. Water absorbs vibration. It remembers. Feng Shui teaches that water-related objects hold immense influence over energy flow in a home. If a tank, purifier, or even a jug comes from a place of illness, debt, or decay, it can retain that frequency. No amount of surface cleaning will fully erase its past. Even paintings of water can affect a space. Art depicting crashing waves or violent seas represents instability, money flowing in fast, but disappearing just as quickly. Especially if placed in living rooms or offices, such images can disturb financial steadiness. In contrast, paintings of calm lakes or gentle streams promote stability and continuous wealth. Thomas eventually removed the tank and replaced it with a small tabletop fountain using blessed water and clear quartz. Within weeks, clients returned, payments flowed, and the heaviness lifted. So what if you already have a second-hand water-related item in your home? First, check in with your space. How do you feel around the object? Is the room peaceful or strained? Has your income felt blocked or uncertain since its arrival? If the answer leans toward imbalance, try these steps. Replace the water. For tanks, change every drop. Use filtered water and bless it as you pour. Energetic cleaning. Wipe surfaces with salt water or ginger water. Salt absorbs low vibrations. Ginger activates yang energy. Add Feng Shui cures. Place brass coins, a gourd, or a healthy bamboo plant near the item to absorb lingering negativity. Reassess visuals. For water paintings, swap chaotic seascapes with tranquil waterscapes that convey stillness and flow. If, after all this, the item still feels off, consider letting it go. True abundance needs clear channels. Anything that clogs the stream of fortune, even symbolically, deserves a gentle goodbye. Buddhism teaches us to flow like water, without resistance, but with awareness. Water doesn't cling. It moves. It adapts. And it teaches us that no possession is worth more than our inner peace. Welcoming water into your home can be a blessing. But it must be clean, in form, and in frequency. A murky tank or symbolic storm may look harmless, but over time, it can pull your spirit downstream. Let your home be a place of fresh current, not flooded memory. Let the waters you invite carry only what you're ready to grow. Part 3, Second Skin, Second Karma, Old Clothes and Their Shadows. We often think of clothing as something external, fabric we wear, items we fold and store, accessories of style or function. But clothing is our second skin. It absorbs more than sweat and scent, it absorbs experience. And when clothes once belonged to someone else, we may be wearing more than just fabric, we may be cloaking ourselves in their unresolved energy. Lauren, a school teacher in Portland, loved vintage fashion. She curated a wardrobe from thrift stores and estate sales, elegant blouses, classic skirts, scarves from long past eras. Her friends praised her style, but quietly, Lauren was unraveling. She began waking with heaviness in her chest. Her thoughts dulled. Her joy dimmed. The more she wore certain pieces, the more turbulent her days became. One blouse, a silk top from the 1960s, seemed to trigger anxiety every time. It fit perfectly, looked stunning, but made her energy plummet. She finally packed it away, and within days, felt like herself again. This isn't just coincidence. In Buddhist thought, clothing, due to its constant body contact, absorbs the wearer's vibrations. If worn during illness, grief, or despair, that energy clings to the fibers. And no matter how thoroughly washed, the karmic imprint can remain. Feng Shui sees clothes as energetic memory. They touch your vital meridians, rest over your heart and spine. When clothes come from someone burdened by trauma or sadness, you invite their frequency into your own field. Psychology mirrors this with emotional contagion, the unconscious transfer of emotion between people. It also applies to objects holding emotional charge. Your subconscious can pick up signals from smell, texture, or subtle cues, recreating emotional states even if you don't know the object's past. Lauren later discovered that the blouse came from the estate of a woman who had struggled with deep depression. It wasn't about color or cut, it was about memory embedded in matter. And it's not just clothes. Furniture holds even more energy. A mattress that endured sleepless nights. A sofa that absorbed years of arguments. A wardrobe stored in darkness and neglect. These objects are not just items. They are silent witnesses, and sometimes, carriers, of old pain. Every material absorbs frequency. Wood, fabric, leather, they're porous not just to water or scent, but to emotion. When you bring such items home, you're adding more than function. You may be adding unspoken history. So what do you do? Pause and reflect. Has your mood shifted since using or wearing something secondhand? Do you feel tired, anxious, or uneasy around it? Don't ignore those signals. Your body understands more than your mind admits. If you choose to keep secondhand clothes or furniture, here's how to cleanse them. Clothing. Wash in salt water or ginger water. Salt neutralizes, ginger revives. Dry in morning sunlight to recharge energy. Furniture. Clean physically. Then smoke with sandalwood incense or dried pomelo peel. Wipe surfaces with diluted salt water. Energy anchors. Place clear quartz, a brass gourd, or a sacred object nearby to stabilize energy. Still feel uneasy? Let it go. Spiritual cleansing isn't just about fixing, sometimes it's about releasing. In Buddhism, letting go of what no longer serves us is liberation. We suffer not because we have little, but because we cling to what weighs us down. Lauren eventually donated her entire vintage collection, not from fear, but clarity. She rebuilt her wardrobe with care, choosing only pieces that felt right. She didn't just change how she dressed, she changed how she lived. So next time you put on a jacket from someone else, or bring home an old chair, ask, what energy am I wearing? What story am I sitting with? Because while beauty can be seen, vibration is felt. And in a noisy world, trusting what you feel may be the wisest way to stay whole. Part 4, Withered Life, Withering Home, Sick Plants and Abused Pets. In a truly balanced home, everything that breathes contributes to its vitality. A thriving plant radiates life. A joyful pet brings warmth. These beings aren't just decorative, they reflect and shape the home's energy. When they decline, they often signal something deeper, more subtle, out of alignment. Maya, a freelance writer in Seattle, loved plants. Her apartment brimmed with greenery, succulents, snake plants, a tall fiddle leaf fig in her living room. But during a difficult year of heartbreak and financial stress, her plants began to wither. Leaves yellowed and fell. Even when watered and fertilized, they refused to thrive. She assumed it was the lighting. But when a healthy new plant, gifted by a friend, began declining within weeks, she sensed it wasn't about soil or sun, it was about the space. In Feng Shui and Buddhism, plants represent the wood element, symbolizing growth and upward movement. When they thrive, they enhance yang energy and circulate abundance. But when they decay, they emit the energy of loss. They become silent markers of stagnation or spiritual heaviness. Much like a body that falls ill before the mind accepts something is wrong, plants often signal energy imbalance long before we're aware of it. Science agrees. Studies show that plants respond to human emotion, intention, even music. They grow differently when exposed to care versus neglect. In spiritual traditions, they are more than flora, they are energetic witnesses. Animals, too, are energetic mirrors. Daniel, a compassionate entrepreneur, adopted a rescue dog. The animal had survived abuse and trembled at every noise. Daniel offered safety and kindness, but soon, he began experiencing strange fatigue, insomnia, and disturbing dreams. His life hadn't changed. His work was steady. But the emotional weight in his home had shifted. He later learned what many forget: when you bring a traumatized being into your space, plant or animal, you're also welcoming the energetic remnants of their suffering. Without conscious healing, that past pain may blend into your present. Feng Shui sees animals as protectors of fortune. A healthy pet uplifts a home's energy. But one carrying fear, illness, or trauma may unintentionally disrupt harmony. This isn't a call to abandon compassion, but a reminder to pair kindness with readiness. Just as humans carry karmic echoes, so do animals and plants. Suffering leaves memory. And if we don't transmute it, we may absorb it. So what can you do? Start by observing. Is the plant recovering, or fading despite care? Does the pet show signs of healing, or remain trapped in anxiety? For plants, prune dead leaves. Repot with fresh soil. Place in sunlight. Speak kind intentions aloud. If the plant is too far gone, let it go. Keeping lifeless greenery reinforces energetic heaviness. For pets, provide not just food, but emotional stability, quiet, calm, routine. Use safe cleansing rituals, sound healing, incense, non-toxic, or gentle Reiki. Ground your own energy, your calm helps their healing. Sometimes, healing isn't possible without help. Seek holistic vets, energy practitioners, or spiritual counselors if needed. You don't have to bear the karmic weight alone. Remember, your home is more than shelter, it's a breathing field. What breathes beside you matters. A dying plant or distressed animal isn't just biology, it's a message. Are you listening? Part 5, The Hesitation That Saves You. When intuition speaks. Have you ever stood before an object, a gift, a piece of furniture, an antique, and felt unsure, even uneasy, for no clear reason? Your mind says, it's useful. Your friend says, it's valuable. But something deep inside whispers, don't take it. That hesitation isn't superstition. It's wisdom. In Buddhism, true perception, pratyaksa, is the knowing that arises before words, before thought. It's the subtle inner silence that registers truth. In modern life, we call it intuition. And on a mindful path, it's not optional, it's essential. Take Matteo, a craftsman in Florence. At a flea market, he saw a small carved statue, beautiful, seemingly spiritual. But when he held it, his hands went cold. His chest tightened. Without knowing why, he put it down and walked away. Later, the vendor admitted it hadn't come from a monastery, as claimed. It had been salvaged from a house that burned down after years of sadness and isolation. The statue had witnessed that pain. Had Matteo ignored his gut, he might have brought that silent heaviness into his meditation space. Feng Shui teaches that every object holds memory. And science supports this through neuroception, the body's unconscious ability to detect safety or danger. We don't need a backstory, Our nervous system reads the space and responds. Studies show emotionally charged objects trigger activity in parts of the brain tied to avoidance, even when people don't know the object's history. The body knows before the mind. When we override that inner warning, we invite tension. We tell ourselves we're imagining things. We accept the mirror, the book, the inherited painting, even when something inside tightens. Then come the subtle shifts, restless sleep, friction in relationships, energy dips. We may not connect them to that one item, but our subconscious has already made the link. This isn't about fear, it's about clarity. Buddhism encourages upaya, skillful means. Sometimes that means keeping. Sometimes it means releasing. And sometimes, it means never letting something in. When you're unsure about an object, pause. Ask, how does this feel in my hands? Does my breath deepen or grow shallow? Would I want this if no one had offered it? If something in you hesitates, trust it. The self-fulfilling prophecy also plays a role. If you accept something with resistance, even subconsciously, you may begin expecting misfortune. The brain, seeking confirmation, finds patterns. This isn't superstition, it's psychology. That's why many spiritually aware people are highly selective about what enters their space. It's not about luxury, it's about energy. They understand that every object carries intention. And this applies to giving, too. When gifting, ask, is this item energetically clean? If it carries your regret, sadness, or unresolved emotions, passing it on isn't generosity, it's transfer of weight. Gifting becomes sacred when it uplifts, not when it shifts a burden. So next time you hesitate, listen. That pause could be protection. That no could be devotion to your path. Intuition isn't noise. It's the original silence. And it often speaks before the world is ready to understand. Part 6, Final Reflections. Energy is the first wealth. We often speak of wealth in terms of currency, savings, investments, property, success. But long before any of that takes form, wealth begins in silence. In space. In energy. Energy is the first wealth. It is the soil from which all other forms of prosperity grow. You can live in a grand house filled with luxury and still feel drained, directionless, or broken. Or you can dwell in modest surroundings and feel vibrant, creative, and deeply at peace. The difference is not the size of the home, it's the quality of the energy inside it. And that energy is shaped not only by what you do, but by what you allow in. Throughout this journey, we've explored 5 kinds of objects that, when accepted blindly, can quietly unravel your peace and prosperity. They may come from bankrupt homes, carry water that no longer flows, wrap you in clothing soaked with sorrow, linger in wilted life, or simply trigger a subtle resistance in your heart. And the lesson is this: not everything that enters your home belongs in your life. Buddhism teaches that clinging, even to what seems beautiful or well-intentioned, can cloud the mind and weigh down the soul. Letting go is not loss. It's liberation. It's the creation of space where fresh chi, fresh karma, and fresh blessings can arrive. We are not here to fear objects. We are here to become conscious of them. The chair you sit on. The shirt you wear. The gift you place on the altar. Each holds a vibration. Each interacts with your fate. Each can be a step forward on your path, or a tether to someone else's suffering. So be intentional. Bless what you keep. Cleanse what you receive. And most of all, listen. Listen to the quiet knowing that arises when something feels right. Or doesn't. Because when your space is clear, your energy is free. And when your energy is free, wealth, of every kind, will find you without force. If this message spoke to your heart, even in the quietest way, Please take a moment to support this shared journey. Like this video to affirm the path of conscious living. Subscribe to stay connected to future teachings rooted in Dharma, energy, and everyday mindfulness. And turn on notifications so you don't miss the next insight that may shift your home and your destiny. We also invite you to share in the comments, have you ever accepted something that disrupted your peace? Or removed an object and suddenly felt clarity return? Your story could be the light someone else is searching for. You're welcome, too, to leave a positive affirmation, something simple but powerful like, my home is a sanctuary of clear energy and joyful abundance. From all of us here at Wisdom of the Dharma, thank you for your presence, your openness, and your willingness to see the world, not just as matter, but as meaning. May your space be clear, may your energy be light, and may fortune, quiet, steady, and true, find its way to your door. Until next time, be well, stay mindful, and walk gently. See you in the next teaching.